Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the kit that I take out when I go fishing. Now, I tend to like to be over prepared just in case because you never know what you're going to run into in some of these places that you fish. I actually take a lot more than needed. I doubt that I'll ever need half of the stuff that I have, but you never know what's going to happen when you're out there. There are some remote areas, especially when you get into the wilderness areas of Oregon that you fish. Most of the places that I frequent are neighborhood ponds that are very well traveled, but even places like Hag Lake, there's some pretty remote areas that you could get stuck in. I had a very close incident of getting extremely hurt out at North Fork Reservoir that could have really sucked, and it's very possible that I might not have been found for a couple days because there's some very remote areas of that as well. So I always like to just be prepared. You never know what's going to happen. And so, you know what? So your pack's going to be a little bit heavier, but hey, you're fishing. If your pack's a little heavier, you're going to get a little extra workout. That's the way I like to look at it. Be prepared. Don't be caught out there with stuff that you don't need, or, don't be caught out there with stuff that you need and you don't have it. So here is my basic fishing tackle that I take. This is a double-sided tackle box. I don't like the old traditional, old school, old man tackle boxes, although I have a couple. I like to condense mine down, and this one here basically is just set up for just about any kind of fishing you would want to do. Got tons of lures in here. I've got a whole bunch of Castmasters for trout and for some other fish. I've got my assortment of spinners here, and we've got some woolly boogers, some little guys like this. Got a wedding ring. I've actually never had much luck. I've seen one of my buddies uses a wedding ring for stock trout, and he always seems to get a really good catch with these. Never really had much luck with it, but I always keep it out there. I don't go out on boats for the most part, so I don't do a whole lot of trolling. But you can rig it up to where you get that same kind of effect off the shore. So I do have a couple in there. Just some random ones. This is a really good one. Thomas Buoyant. Random spinners, all different kinds of sizes. If you go over here, you'll see. I always like to just look around in places. One thing that you can find that I found is really helpful is if you go into places that don't generally carry a lot of fishing equipment, like Target, they'll have like one or two things, and they don't generally sell all that much because people aren't looking for fishing stuff there. So you'll find some pretty good deals. I found this little pack for like $4. It had these little guys, and they're kind of in a knot right now, but it's basically like a little spinner with a flasher and a little fish that kind of goes like this and looks like a little injured fish. And I've had some really good luck with trout on these guys. They seem to really like it, and they attack hard. So there's a little tip. If you're in a store that has a little bit of sporting goods, just always look in there. You may find some good stuff. Found some fake worms on clearance at Target that are garlic infused. Haven't used them yet. Don't know how, but it was like they're only a couple bucks, and hey, you know what? Might as well try. Moving on, I got a little bit of my bass lures and such. This is my favorite here. I've caught a couple bass on this bad boy. They seem to really like this black one with the big red eye. And this little guy here is another little kind of crappy one that I got in Target. Never had much luck on for bass on it, but I have caught some little random fish. He sits there and he kind of swims around and he looks like he's having some time. So you get the bigger fish that come and want to be a bully and eat them, and bam, they get hit and you got them. Got some big boys here for the salmon and the steelhead. And then we've got these guys that are traditionally bass lures. I'd like to introduce you to my buddy George. George has been in my family for 20 years. This is probably George the 14th or 15th because we lose them, as you can imagine, every couple years. But it's just kind of an inside joke, so I always keep George with me. Don't usually use him, but I have had some luck with him out at Hag, and George is the man. So let me close this up here and flip it over. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just got done working out, so I feel like I'm gasping for air. All right, so this is kind of your assortment of nasty, ooey gooey stuff here. Got a couple steelhead worms with steelhead hooks raring to go. These little guys for bass. These are little plastic baits that simulate frog salamanders. Bass like those, and then just kind of your generic sparkly worms that bass like as well. All kinds of different. I've got some spreaders here. These are actually trolling spreaders, but I found that they work pretty good on some of the rigs that I use. I'll go over that in a different video. Assortment of hooks. You've got your snelled. You've got some that I've been pre-wrapping, and just kind of assortment, any size, any shape. you never know what you're going to run into, so it's always good to be prepared to have all kinds of hooks. A couple bobbers. Not a huge fan of bobbers, but I got some float bobbers here. I got the old school, bobbers like you used to use when you were a kid. You got your rigging stuff here. You got your split shots. You got your sliding weights, your shot sinkers, and these little guys that everybody knows how to rig with. So that's my basic kit that I use. It's kind of a mess right now. I need to redo it. I'm going to go tomorrow to a place called Commonwealth in Beaverton that was just stocked, so I won't have to use half of this stuff. But this is what I carry. It's small, it's compact, and I've been having some good luck with it. This is my other bag here. I've got some shrimp scent. I've got some Berkley trout scent. This right here is killer for stock trout. They love it. I've talked about it a little bit in some of my other videos. They seem to love the smell of it. It's not so much to attract them, it's more to mask your human scent so it doesn't throw them off. I've got some Gulp eggs, 2 different forms of strike, which is basically power bait, and here's those garlic worms I was talking about. These bad boys right here, these are the key. These are Berkley Power eggs. I've got them in pink, chartreuse, and orange. I throw a little bit of glitter on them for some extra bling bling for the fishes, and they seem to really like it. You can do really well with these. You can reuse them. The fish, even if they swallow them half the time, you can get it back out and they can be reused. Some of the actual gear that I take, always Leatherman. This particular Leatherman here is an old Leatherman. I got it from my dad when I was a kid. It's well over 20, probably, I don't know, geez, 25 years old. Never had a problem with it. I've had it sharpened once. It's an amazing tool. Even has the old school Leatherman pouches that you don't see much anymore. All my friends use Gerbers, and that's fine. I like Gerber. My knife is a Gerber, but I like the Leatherman tool. It's got needle nose pliers, and never had a problem with it. It's never broken, never chipped, never cracked, never broken. Every person I know that's used a Gerber tool has broken a blade at one point or the other and had to get a new one. So, take what you will. Maybe they don't actually build stuff like they used to. Gerber knife. It's a pretty wicked knife. Got it at Bi-Mart. It's just a typical knife. It's got pretty good blade on it. Good size, not huge. I keep it nice and sharp, and I always carry it with me. Comes in very handy. Nice sheath. So I always make sure that I have my Leatherman and my knife on me when I'm fishing. And then I like to throw in some extra stuff here. Like I said, some of the places that you go, you'll find that you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You won't need half of the stuff, but you just never know, so I like to be prepared. So I have this little, this is actually a little bag that came out of an old school laptop case, which I think is this little thing right there. But it's just a little attachment, it's Velcro. It sat in the case and I kind of stole it. So I got a pair of needle nose pliers in here for getting those rough hooks out. Flashlight, little chem light here. You can get these really cheap now, they're everywhere. Good old snake bite kit. And I put together a little first aid here. I bought this little plastic crappy first aid, pulled everything out of it, and put my own stuff in it. Got some Advil, some Aleve, some basic painkillers, some bandages, some Band-Aids. There is a box of matches in here, some fishing line, and also a sewing kit in case you happen to gash your arm and you can't get anywhere. You need to sew up real quick so you don't bleed out. Like I said, that's pretty extreme, but never hurts to have this kind of stuff with you. Carry that with me. I always carry a decent pair of gloves. I actually just bought these. They're not waterproof, but they do keep you warm. I actually wear a separate pair when I'm fishing that are kind of similar to this, but they have about this much cut off, so you have your fingers. It's hard when you're baiting your line or you're working on your hook or something if you have gloves on. So I have these as a backup for those cold mornings. Have some old school binoculars just because I like to look around, see what I'm seeing here. If there's wildlife out there, you can see them. It's pretty cool. This right here, oh man, this is such a good book. This is a very old book. It was published in the 80s. It's a survival manual that my dad used to keep on his gear when he was in the U.S. Army. It's not an official U.S. Armed Forces survival manual, but it was good enough for him. Being a 23-year Army veteran, so it's good enough for me. It has a lot of, like I said, it's old, but it's stuff that is still applicable. How to find yourself, how to orient yourself, how to start fires, how to gut fish, how to catch fish, just everything, how to avoid certain snakes that are poisonous, what to look for in a berry to see if you can eat it, just all kinds of good stuff. So I would definitely say keep one of those with you, buy one of those. Saw some of this at a, man, this brings back memories. I grew up on these. My dad, like I said, he was in the Army for 23 years, 82nd Airborne out of Fort Bragg, so he had a ton of these. And every once in a while, he'd give us one. We'd eat them when we were camping. My older brother actually got in a lot of trouble because he took a whole bunch of it out of his gear. And my dad was none too happy when he found when he was out in the field and realized that half of his stuff was gone. But they're kind of pricey in the civilian world. I found this over at Aloha Surplus, which is a pretty crazy place. There's some really good stuff there. This is chicken with pasta meal ready to eat. In case you ever find yourself out somewhere that you're going to be out there for a day, maybe nobody's going to find you. You broke your leg, you can't move. It's getting dark. There's nobody around to rescue you. There's going to be no cops or rangers or anything out there. You're going to get stuck there all night. Just got something to eat. Like I said, probably not going to need it, but it's never a bad thing to have. I also always take stuff out like that's really high in protein. Like I'll take beef jerky, Power Bar, something like that, just to make sure I have a little extra food, just in case. Like you never know. So that's basically my kit. I carried in this backpack here that I got at, I don't know, I guess it's Fred Meyer's. Pretty awesome backpack. It's actually a hunting backpack, and I carry my net. Got a couple carabiners on here, and this little thing that's actually from Dick's Sporting Goods. It's supposed to be for your water bottle, but it works really good for my pole. So I just need my pole, my backpack, occasionally a chair, and that pretty much, you got a pink hat there for my daughter. Yep, those are some necessities you don't want to take. Look at that, pink. You never know I had a daughter. Anyway, so that's basically my basic kit. So figure out what works for you. My suggestion would be to always get everything done prior to fishing. The night before, I always go and I check all my stuff. I wash my lures. If they've been, let's say I'm going to Hag Lake the next day. The last time I was there, I was out in the Columbia. You get the smells, so I always wash them off, clean them off, let them drip dry, and then I put them back in my case just to get those foreign smells off there. So just wanted to throw this video out there. Hopefully this will help you out, maybe give you a couple ideas. If you can think of anything else that would be good to carry in a normal kit, that's not all this crazy military stuff, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions, and hopefully you'll have some good luck out there. So I'm going to go tomorrow and see if I can get a couple videos of me actually pulling these guys in and show some of my techniques if my buddy meets me out there and doesn't sleep past his alarm, so he can film me. But so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Thanks a lot, YouTube. I appreciate it. Good luck out there. Be safe, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.